Hello everyone, we are driving around today, kind of just killing time doing some running around, and we thought we would make a little video about just some stuff I've been thinking about the world and life and so forth. I wrote down some ideas. Valerie's going to read them off to me, and I hope you guys enjoy.
And just one quick side note before we get started, I apologize in advance for the loud road noise. We are on a highway. We're going to be on a highway for the entirety of this video. So I will try in post-production to fix it a bit so that it's easier to hear us. But in the meantime, we're just going to talk a little bit louder. And hopefully this audio comes out okay. Okay, so question 1. Why should I treat my wife less awesome?
Yeah, so the other day we were at the RV show in town here, and when we were leaving, I went to the coat check to grab Valerie's coat, and the lady in front of me heard me say to the lady at the till that, hey, I'm just going to grab my wife's coat. And she said something about, how I didn't make my wife come and get it to her husband. And then he kind of looks at me and he's like, dude, you're making me look bad. And I've heard that a couple of times from various people that, I make them look bad and I need to tone it down and whatever. And I kind of wonder, why do I need to be less good to my wife to make people feel better about how they treat theirs? Why can't they step up their game and give me a run for my money? Okay.
Yep. Next one?
Yep.
Man up.
Okay, so I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and there seems to be a wide topic of toxic masculinity, and that phrase in particular seems to come up, telling little boys to man up. And from what I can tell, the idea behind it seems to be that to man up or be a man is the opposite of to be a woman, and the tone people use it's generally people have the idea that it's, women are bad and, whatever, you're a misogynist pig or something like that. And the way it's always been explained to me, and the way I've used it myself many, many times, is while men and women are different in a whole bunch of different ways, to say, you could look at a little boy and say man up, and mean exactly the same thing as if you were to look at a little girl and say woman up. Because it's not that men are opposite from women, they're different, but a man or woman as an adult is opposite of a child. And the character that makes the traits that make a good man are the exact same as the traits that make a good woman. Honor, integrity, self-discipline, and, various other things like that. So usually when I think of, and I'm going to probably tell my son that when I have one lots, man up, try and be kind of more mature, more self-controlled, more thoughtful and compassionate towards others, as opposed to a child who is very naturally self-centered and all about what they can get from others to benefit themselves, whereas to man up or woman up is to be more compassionate and more giving of yourself to others. What's next, Dave?
Next one is sometimes it sucks, and that's okay.
Okay, yeah, so one thing I have really noticed just through talking with a lot of people, watching videos, seeing things on social media, there seems to be this idea that, if you're doing something, it has to be fun and easy and come naturally, or it's bad, it's wrong, it's evil, it's not worth doing. And that's not the case. I mean, like the question says, sometimes it sucks, and that's okay. I mean, you can have all the winter gear in the world. It's fine if you get cold when you're shoveling the sidewalk. You're not going to die. And if you do, well, that's a huge problem. Go in and warm up or something. But it's not like you're going to be motivated to work out and then hitting a new PR in deadlifts is just going to be fun and exciting and I feel so good and it's not even a little bit uncomfortable. No. Sometimes it sucks, and that's okay. Sometimes a 14-hour drive is miserable, but you do it, and that's okay. And that's definitely one of my pet peeves, is just so many people don't do something or slack off or be lazy or use it as an excuse because it's not fun or it sucks. And it sucks, and that's okay. It won't kill you. Babe?
Next one is Grandpa's lessons on anger.
Yeah, so I'm still struggling with my temper, and it's probably something I'm going to work on forever. And one thing that I really remember from growing up was, I can't really even remember the situation anymore, but like my aunt and my babo were kind of nattering and nagging at grandpa, and eventually he like snapped and told him to shut up, and then him and I went to the store or whatever to go do what we were doing. And you know, I'm never going to forget, we sat down in the car, I put my seatbelt on, he hadn't even started the car yet, and he looked at me and, wow, I'm not crying, you're crying. And he apologized for losing his temper and losing control of himself. And basically what he had told to me is that within his house, he was he's the strongest one there, the most physically powerful, whatever the case may be. And he had said that, you know, like a man can use his physicality to impose his will on others. And yeah, he's strong. But he had said that, like, a real man will impose his will on himself for the betterment of others. And I know that's something I hope to get good at one day, especially if I want to set an example for kiddos at some point. But yeah, that's something that's always struck with me that I think needs to be out in the world more. What do you think, baby? Any residual notes?
You have one last one on here.
Oh, I do?
Yep.
Wow, look at me being all thoughtful. Hit me.
So your last one is, let loved ones take your picture.
Yeah, so I'm not a real photogenic guy. I hate being in pictures. For the longest time, I prided myself on, I think there's close to like a decade of my life where there's no photographic proof of my existence, except for like a picture for a badge to get into work kind of deal. And I was pretty proud of that, but I've been thinking recently, like, because I like to take pictures of Valerie just to have the memories. But let loved ones take your pictures, you know, friends, family, whatever. Let them take pictures of you because, you know, your hair might be messed up, you might have a bunch of zits, whatever, your beard looks weird or patchy or something, I don't know. Whatever the case may be that you're uncomfortable being in pictures, I mean, let other people take their pictures because they're not going to look at you 10, 15, 5, 20 years from now and say, oh, you know, look at Buddy's gut, look at her hair looks stupid, she didn't do her makeup. You know, people want that picture because they want to hang on to the memory that signifies, and who are you to keep them from that just because, you know, you're self-conscious? Just let it go and let others have their memories and, you know, live, laugh, love, enjoy life.
I love that. And I'm going to add one on that I'd like you to talk about.
Okay.
So, you are a man whom I love, obviously. I chose to marry you. But more so than that, you're a man that I respect and that I trust.
Thank you.
And one of the words that frequently come to my mind when I describe you, and not just me, but friends and family of ours as well, is integrity and honor. You're somebody who people can look at and they respect you because you're integrous, you're honorable, and you follow through. And I'm wondering if you could just talk a little bit about the importance of integrity in your life.
I don't know. I don't think about it so much anymore. There are certain instances, like I had one at work a while ago that I actually ended up getting fired from that job, and there was some politics and backstabbing going on there outside of that. But I'm a pipe fitter. I was working in a fab shop. I was cutting a bunch of pipe to get ready for fabrication. And I was kind of just going with the flow, you know, measure, cut. And I didn't notice that one of the pipes that I'd cut was actually the wrong wall thickness. So it ended up being like a huge waste of time because I no longer had the pieces for a bunch of work that I'd already done, but I'd wasted a bunch of material for work that had yet to be done. And so I went and told my foreman right away, and I just said, you know, like, hey, this happened, like, my bad, I dropped the ball. And he had tried to shift the blame from me to someone else, which I didn't grab the material, I didn't stage the material, it would have been a really easy out. But I had said, well, you know, yeah, true, like, someone else had staged the material, but it's still on me, you know, I've got ample experience and so on and so forth. I should have double-checked, it wouldn't have cost anything, and I just didn't, you know, I dropped the ball and I apologize. And in specific moments like that, I generally think back to whatever where I was little. I would hear things like, you know, his word is his bond, his handshake was ironclad, whatever, and I want to be that guy. I'm not sure what specifically I'm not sure what specifically started it or why I kind of have that desire to do that, but I kind of have this idea that, I want to be the guy that when people hate me, talk trash about me to other people who know me, that those people are just like, yeah, this guy's lying. Or that, when I say something, people still do their due diligence and double check on it, but, when I give my word, people know for sure that it's going to happen or that it's true to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah.
And I don't really know where that came from, but it's kind of just one of those things always in the back of my mind that I want to try my best to be that guy. And I fall short all the time. But it's about progress, not perfection. What else, baby?
That's about it. That was the one thing that I really wanted to hear you talk about.
Awesome. So hopefully there's something usable in this last little bit of rambling. I know you guys don't normally get this much me, so I apologize. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found some takeaways. If there's anything else you guys want to converse about or ask about or whatever that I can ramble on for, let us know. And we will talk to you on the next one.
Bye.
Later.